Welcome to the MicroMolar podcast, Biotech Headlines series. Today is Monday, April 13th.
Let's get right into the headlines.
Regeneron is making a major push into radiopharma through a multi-billion-dollar deal with Telix. The move expands its oncology platform and signals continued big pharma interest in radiopharmaceuticals as a next-gen modality.
FDA has warned 2,200 clinical trial sponsors to report missing study results. This broad enforcement action could significantly impact transparency and compliance across the industry.
Servier's eye cancer drug is heading to the FDA with best-in-class efficacy claims. The data showed a major improvement in progression-free survival, positioning it as a potential breakthrough therapy.
Revolution Medicines surged after its pancreatic cancer drug doubled survival in Phase 3. In a notoriously difficult cancer, the data could support global filings and reshape treatment expectations.
Allogene's off-the-shelf CAR-T therapy cleared residual lymphoma and sent shares soaring. The results strengthen the case for allogeneic cell therapy as a scalable alternative to autologous approaches.
AbbVie is entering the pain market with a deal worth up to $715 million. This signals growing competition in a space currently led by Vertex's non-opioid pain therapies.
Biotech and Duality Bio reported strong mid-stage data for an ADC in endometrial cancer. The trial showed meaningful response rates, reinforcing continued momentum in antibody-drug conjugates.
Replimune received a second FDA rejection for its cancer therapy. The setback forces cost cuts and raises concerns about the company's long-term viability.
Kylera is planning a $528 million IPO focused on obesity drugs. The move highlights continued investor appetite for metabolic disease assets despite volatile biotech markets.
Seaport and Hemab are preparing IPOs to fund pipeline development. Their filings suggest cautious optimism that the biotech IPO window may be reopening.
Spire Therapeutics reported positive Phase 2 data in ulcerative colitis. The company believes its drug could outperform existing blockbuster Entyvio.
USP flagged major drugs like Tamiflu and Trulicity as vulnerable to supply disruptions. The report underscores ongoing fragility in global pharmaceutical supply chains.
FDA transparency around rejection letters is increasing industry accountability. Companies are now disclosing more details, reshaping how regulatory risk is communicated to investors.
Regulatory flexibility at the FDA is evolving but remains inconsistent. Executives report a more collaborative tone, though uncertainty still complicates development strategies.
Allogene's CAR-T data is fueling renewed enthusiasm for off-the-shelf cell therapy. The approach could dramatically lower costs and expand access if durability holds.
Biotech fundraising activity remains active with multiple companies raising capital. Despite a tough environment, select platforms are still attracting meaningful investment.
The oral obesity drug race is intensifying between major pharma players. Competition between Lilly and Novo Nordisk is shifting toward more convenient pill-based treatments.
Modular bioreactor strategies are reshaping biotech manufacturing. Companies are moving toward flexible scale-out models to reduce cost and risk.
Biopharma job market data shows early signs of recovery in 2026. Rising postings and deal activity suggest hiring could rebound after recent layoffs.
Replimune's FDA rejection highlights risks of single-arm trial strategies. Regulators are increasingly demanding stronger comparative data for approvals.
Radiopharmaceuticals are emerging as a major strategic focus across big pharma. Large deals and pipeline expansion indicate growing confidence in the modality's commercial potential.
Pain therapeutics are reemerging as a competitive biotech category. New non-opioid mechanisms are attracting significant investment and deal-making.
ADC development continues to gain momentum across oncology pipelines. Strong clinical data and partnerships are reinforcing the modality as a core growth driver.
Biotech IPO momentum is cautiously returning after a prolonged slowdown. Companies are testing public markets again as funding conditions stabilize.
Supply chain vulnerabilities remain a systemic risk for drug availability. Heavy reliance on single-source materials continues to threaten manufacturing resilience.
That's all for today on the MicroMolar podcast. See you next time.